education has been affordable in this country. Today, because of Kenya Kwanza government and mismanagement and lack of interest, the welfare of wananchi, education has become unaffordable, and only people who can afford will now acquire education.
Is the education sector dying? This is a question that most of Kenyans are asking themselves right now. And in this video, I'm going to take you through the context that are going to actually outline or indicate if actually the education sector in this country is dying. To start with, earlier this month, the Ministry of Education revealed that over 50,000 students who are qualified for their KCSE exam in the year 2024 actually were not able to apply for their tertiary institution. They never made any effort. Reason why? Because of the new funding model. The new funding model works in a very strange way, where learners are actually organized in 5 categories: Band 1, Band 2, Band 3, and Band 4. Learners who gets into Band 1 are actually from the needy family, according to the ministry, how they categorize those learners. And Band 5, those are learners that come from a well family. Since this funding model has been introduced, the new funding model, most learners who come from a needy family complained that despite coming from a very humble background where they are unable actually to meet the paying the fees, they were never placed in Band 1. Most of them were placed in Band 5, which is a very ironical. So this actually showed that the means testing that the government used to categorize the learners, it's not efficient. And we believe that as they went by, they will improve so that the learners that are in Band 1 are actually the learners who actually deserve it, according to how they brought the information to the public. But this method is not efficient because the government said that they shifted to this new method where they're going to pay according to the need of the learner. It's not efficient since it were to generate more revenue, as most of the university in Kenya, 99% of the public university are in debts. Talk of Nairobi University, talk of Kenyatta University, Jomo Kenyatta University, and the great Moi University, which has been collapsing. And the government said the only way to deal with this menace is to introduce this new funding model. But the new funding model has not yet solved this problem yet. Because recently the Treasury has stated that the government can never or is unable to actually accommodate or pay fees for universities, secondary and primary school. This means education in general. This begs the question, what the government actually promised during the campaign is the opposite. What the predecessors did concerning education is actually the opposite of what they're doing right now. Because most of the psychopaths, the puppets who support the rogue regime, are actually defending this new method or the ideology that the government is unable to fund the education sector in Kenya. And the saying, which is very radical, that the government paying or rather sponsoring or managing the education sector is actually contributing to low quality of education, which is not true, because we all know that the education in Kenya has been experiencing low funding for quite some time now. And instead of solving this problem, the government is actually running away from the actual problem, because Recently, few months ago, the president himself announced in the public that he's going to build a church in the State House worth 1.2 billion. Okay, and also there are a lot of billions that have been located in the State House. So this is not the issue or uncertainty that the government does not have money, that the resources are not in the country. This country has more than enough. But what we're actually witnessing is that the government is actually prioritizing things that do not actually matter to the Kenyans. Because if those resources of each financial year where the State House is being renovated could be channeled in the education sector, today actually no any parent could be paying any single shilling. The bursary that the MP actually disperses, whereas even the disbursement occurs in a very awkward manner. Many millions of shillings are lost. The government, the county government, the women rep have the bursary. There's so many money around that are being misused. Okay, so to sum it up, that this issue or rather education sector in Kenya is actually dying, and the people responsible for this menace is the government, and to be specific, is the rogue regime, the Kenya Kwanza administration. That's my thought on this issue on education sector as it reaching its peak, where the government is drawing from not financing the education sector. Let me your thought on this. Do you think that parents should actually pay for full amount regarding or rather to help and ensure that the learners acquire education in both primary, secondary, and university? Do you think parents should pay or the government should step in? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, I make sure that I'll read through and give a feedback.